Well, hello, everybody. I'm your host, Ed Parco of Helping the Brave, and let's bring in our guest today. And our guest is Dennis Mark Indernato. Did I get close?
Close enough. We're good.
Sorry about that. My last name's Parco. Nobody gets it right. So I tried. I am a redneck. So what are you going to do? All right. So one question I always ask, what service and why?
United States Army, Army Reserve, Army National Guard, a little bit of each. Why?
Mhm.
And I tell you what, I was 19 years old, didn't want to be home anymore, didn't want to go to college, wanted to get away. Army sounded really good.
And how long were you in?
10 years.
Wow. So you did enjoy it for a while.
I did. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah.
So anything you want to go over while you were in? I know there's a lot of other stuff we can talk about, but
Sure. Yeah.
So you were in the Army. Where
Mhm.
was your first duty station?
Fort Sill.
Is that Oklahoma?
Yep. That's in Oklahoma. And then kind of just bounced around. Came back home to Jersey for a bit. Then became a drill sergeant. And Fort Leonard Wood was like the last 4 years, including training.
And then you got out. Did you just, it was time to get out, something medically retired? I mean,
Man, I was like 25 at the time, 27.
what year was this?
So this is 2007.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure I was 27. I was just ready. I was guaranteed a bonus, and then that guarantee went away, and then the bonus started dwindling down until the bonus went away, and I was upset, and that was really the only thing that was going to keep me from reenlisting. So when that went away, I said, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. The politics were changing, the Army was changing, and it just wasn't something that I was wanting to be a part of anymore.
And that was in right around 2008 is when they started really closing bases and cutting down the different stuff. It was a different time also.
Yeah. They had, I came from a different, I was one of the last generations to go through non-integrated training. So when I went through basic training, it was all guys. And as time went on, when I became a drill sergeant and we had the integrated training with the men and the women and the different standards and everything, it was, I mean, you have to accept it, but it is kind of hard to accept when you weren't brought that way, when you didn't come from that school. And there were just a lot of things happening that you just don't agree with and you don't have control over. Even with the drill sergeants, that they changed the entire role of the drill sergeant and turned them into more of a squad leader type training position, which I didn't disagree with. But what I did disagree with was that they removed a lot of the ways that we could reprimand as well. And that became very difficult.
Right. You can't control people if you can't reprimand them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of going into boot camp in the Army, especially boot camps, and same with Marines and a bunch of stuff a long time ago, was to get broken down and built back up.
Yeah.
And then if you can't do that, then you got the same person you came in with.
Yeah, or worse.
Yeah. Worse. Because I was at my son's graduation from boot camp, and it was a totally different world. And
How long ago was that?
He's only been in 8 years. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So definitely a different world for sure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Compared to what I've seen. But even when I was in, everybody complained about how much easier it was than the years before that. And I was in the late 80s. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, and that was, prior to me going in, that's when, they could touch you and other stuff. And when I went in, they couldn't touch you. So they made you lean against their hand. And, it's just stupid stuff. I'm not touching, you're touching me.
That's right.
But again, it all boils down there. Yeah, there've been some really, 1% of people went too crazy in everything that we do. I don't care what it is. Mortgages, real estate, you name it, agents, attorneys. There's always 1% that's bad. There's nothing you can do about that. They shouldn't change everything because of that 1%.
Right.
All right. So when you got out, what was your plan? Did you have a plan when you got out, or did you lose your purpose? Did you have a purpose? And let
So
me tell you, was going out, I had finished my bachelor's. I was working on my master's. I had one more year of my master's when I got out. So mine was a whole plan.
I didn't have a plan at all. I had gotten my bachelor's. And so now we're thinking about what we want to do. I have a degree in marketing. I tried some marketing jobs. None of it was for me. I went into some management jobs. That wasn't for me. So I called up my dad looking for advice, and I hung up the phone agreeing to go move back home and go to work for him in the family business, which was residential building and remodeling. And that was like the next 15 years of my life.
And how was that? I mean, did you enjoy that, or you just went through it?
I did enjoy it. I didn't necessarily enjoy the career. I did enjoy growing so much closer to my father and being able to work with him and my brother at the time. We built a very big business, and I certainly put the college degree to use with the business. You know, we helped expand the business and grow it and scale it. So it was great while it lasted. But when Dad retired, I lost any inkling to want to continue, and I shut the business down very very shortly after he retired.
Well, and that's a big thing right now with a lot of older people, HVAC companies, plumbing companies, all those type of trade, those companies, people are retiring and their kids don't want the business.
Yeah,
And they, they're trying to find people to buy it. And there's a whole sub um, businesses of buying those businesses. It's amazing how many people are buying those types of businesses because families don't want them.
it was tough, man. It's a really tough industry, and
This
I
is in
didn't.
New Jersey.
This is in New Jersey, yeah. And we only, I didn't have the education that I have now in the career that I do now is it far exceeds the education and the knowledge I had when I was running the construction company in regards to being able to scale it even more or be super successful in it. I didn't have the right mindset back then at all, and I didn't have any other mentors other than my father. I'm sorry, my father comes from School of Hard Knocks. So we were limited in how far we were going to take it. We didn't know that, but there was no other influences to make us think any different than like the business we were doing. Uh, so it did become very very tough, almost frustrating, because I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't even know there were business coaches or anything like that. I never ever in my life would have probably even thought about trying to find one had it not been for like switching careers and meeting all these different types of people all over the country and then learning, oh, there are a lot more ways to scale a business. You just have to be around the right people to learn how to do it.
Right. And that's for me. I mean, because you must be talking about the real estate industry.
Yeah.
Right? So the mortgage industry and the real estate industry is all about going to masterminds, getting coaches, getting your brand. It's a totally different thing where you have a company brand, but then you have a personal brand. And because you are the people are buying from you, not the company.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what people don't. And so for a lot of other companies in the world, they don't understand that like we understand that. Got some music going there.
No, so I'm in one of my offices and they're vacuuming right now. I don't know if you can hear it, but
I hear something. I don't know what it is, but
they're
that's okay.
vacuuming right outside my door.
Yeah, it's something. That's okay. So how did you transition from your dad into the real estate industry?
So I had actually had my license for quite some time. While we were trying to build the business, we wanted to start flipping houses. So I went and got my real estate license early on and then just held on to it. Never really did anything with it. When I retired the business, I went to work for the sewer department in the town I grew up in and ended up using the real estate license to supplement my income. And that turned into something completely different. I never had any intentions of being a full-time realtor, let alone being any good at it. But but things change. And now I have a fairly good sized brand that I've been building, and we're doing a very, very good amount of work and business, and we're scaling. Every year is getting better and better.
And what is your brand?
My brand is the Dennis Mark Group, and I'm brokered by Keller Williams. So I hold my license at Keller Williams. I am one of 10 offices owned by the same broker. I'm in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. That's where my office is at. And I have a small team that I've been building for about the last year. I have a couple assistants, and then I have one full-time assisting agent that works with me in my office, and that's where we're at right now.
What's your niche? Because just so you know, I do a local radio show
Mhm.
called Real Estate Jerky. We give you something to chew on. My co-host is an agent, and he specializes in probate. And
So
go ahead.
mine is divorce.
Yeah, because you have to in this world, especially with what's going on out there with the Zillows and all those other things, you need to niche and know who your perfect client is and only
Yeah.
work so you can get your marketing to that people. I even split my mortgage company that used to do everything into 3 separate entities company-wise. One is Lending for a Living, which is all reverse mortgages. Another one's Loan Squad, which is all VA loans.
Mhm.
And then another one, which is for business owners, which is Source One Financial. Those are all separate. So when they go to those websites, they understand what they're getting taught.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And that's what you need to do. I mean, but again, you have to build your brand, whether it's, I do it through radio, podcasting, and I was in a documentary about real estate, how people made their money, and I was the only mortgage person in it. So I've been in stuff that is unusual. Plus, I wrote my own book, and that's something that people need to do, especially in our industry, because people don't really do it in our industry to stand out.
Right.
So, how are you building your brand?
I'm building my brand based on client experience. That's really where my brand focus is providing value in ways that most realtors don't in my area. So the one thing that I learned very, very early on with working with dad is to never be held hostage by anybody. So in keeping with that mentality, I pay for everything that I have. So nothing that I work with within my brand or my business is attached to Keller Williams. And it's not because I have it out for Keller Williams. It's because I don't I don't want to ever have to be in a situation where if their rules change or anything like that, I get stuck. So my email system is the Dennis Mark Group. My website is the Dennis Mark Group. It's my own personal brand site that I built with the client in mind. It's very interactive. It provides a ton of value to the client, and we're still building that right now. I've been building it for about a year now. It's been live for 8 months, and we're still going. So we have all that. And then, like I said, the client experience. So I have a lot of industry partners that I have aligned with, attorneys, inspectors, lenders, you name it, movers. I have my whole team with me. But I don't not only do I have the team, we are aligned. They know exactly what's expected of them, and they know that if I'm bringing them onto a deal in any way, they already know what the expectation is. They already know what I'm looking for, and I feed them because of it. I keep everybody fed, and in turn, I look to them for sponsored events or co-branded events or whatever I need. They supply me with. Some of them I have branded partnerships with. For example, my mover, we have a box that we do. It's a branded box with his logo, my logo. It's all red, white, and blue. People open up the box. There's a picture of me and him with our arms around each other like we're best friends. And there's a description about teachers moving right there next to us. And there's a bunch of moving supplies in the box. My clients get that box when we go under contract and we meet for the home inspections. So I meet them outside. We get out of our cars. I go, hey guys, this is for you. Boom. They open it up. They see everything in there. If they're looking for a mover, they call Teachers Moving. So we have a couple things like that. I'm very, very big on like branded boxes, branded guides. We have guides for everything. You name it, I think I have it. And that helps significantly. So we have them in printed form, and I also have them in a digital form in the form of a flip book, where if you go on, you can just click a button and it makes the paper noise as you're flipping the pages, and you can go through all these guides. So, we have the typical buyer's guide, seller's guide, marketing guide, moving guide, about me guide, buyer and seller agency guide, first time homeowner tip guide. But then we have town guides, and the town guides is really, really special. For every town that we do business in, we have like a 40 something page guide for this town. And it has everything in the town that you would need to know as a potential buyer if you're thinking of moving or relocating to this area.
Well,
Yeah.
I assume you do a lot of YouTube videos.
I do YouTube. I don't do enough personal content for YouTube. I do a lot of clips. I film myself a lot in my car, in the Jeep, because I'm driving a lot. So I have this thing that I created called car clips. And anytime I feel like I've got something in my head and I want to get it out and it pertains to real estate in any way, I just hit record. And we have, God, I probably have like 50 or 60 car clips that I've done in like the last year. And a lot of it we recycle, but a lot of the podcast is a lot of the content too that I do.
Do you have your own podcast?
I'm sorry?
Do you have your own podcast?
So I don't yet.
Okay.
I do on the back end. We haven't started yet. It's in the works. It's going to be called Hometown Hustle. And we're going to be starting that probably within the next 30 days. And it is going to be focused around local small businesses and being able to get them out there and get them some attention, and talk about how we can both collectively contribute to the community that we do business in.
I kind of want to go back to your niche. How did you get into the niche of divorces? Was it a personal thing first?
No, it wasn't a personal thing. Like, I've never been married, so obviously I can't get divorced.
Yeah.
But I have done a couple in the last couple of years where I've had, people from my sphere come to me and ask me to represent them to sell the home. And I see what they're going through, and it sucks, man. It's just terrible. I haven't done one yet where like the husband and the wife were both like on the same page.
I'm doing one right now. They are. It's so weird.
That is weird.
But they had been together for a long time. It was just, and I was surprised, but then I'm not surprised, if you understand what I mean.
Right.
So yeah. I've been divorced twice and then remarried, this time 21 years. So it does. Yeah. So I always tell people, make a list of what you want in somebody, not what you don't want. Just make that list and make it ridiculous. Because the only thing my wife wasn't on my ridiculous list was 5'9". She's 5'4". I'm 6'2". I wanted somebody taller. The only thing I didn't know at the time, my wife had a list. The only thing I wasn't on her list was a fireman, because she thought she wanted me gone every other night. That's what I'm saying. You make that list, then you only date that list or close to that list. You can give up one thing like I did, 5'9". You know what I mean? I can survive off of her. I just have to lean over a couple times. But it's just important that when you're looking for that significant other, to know exactly what you want. It's like partnerships in businesses and partnerships in everything. You need to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And my daughter's just got engaged, one of them, and the guy came and asked me if, the whole thing. And one of the things I told him, I said, and he told me he didn't know if he was ever going to get married because his parents were divorced and all the stuff that he saw with that. And I said, well, the thing that I see most for divorces is it's always a financial issue. I mean, except there are the ones where someone cheated, but in reality, most of them are about financials where they're fighting over money. I tell everybody separate accounts and then one joint account to put money in to do stuff, but have your own money in your own account. Sure. And that way you can do what you want with it. Because if you put all your money in one account and then she's spending all that money or he's spending all that money, somebody gets pissed. And then after a while, it just eats them. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. But so going through a divorce is horrible.
It is. So, I mean, obviously I haven't done it, but I
can tell you personally it is.
I go through it all the time now. Yeah. As a realtor, we become fairly personal with the clients. But the one thing I do like about divorce is it is very transactional, and it has to be, because you can't take sides. You have to be absolutely neutral down the middle.
Right.
And because of that, I liked that aspect of it where it was more transactional. I'm a very relational realtor. You know, like I said, client experience is very big to me, but I was also noticing that there are a lot of people that are getting divorced and they're choosing the wrong realtor. And that was upsetting to me because I had had conversations with other people who had gotten divorced, had to sell the marital home, and their experiences were not good. So, being that I am so focused on client experience, I felt that I could still provide some type of positive experience in such a negative aspect of their lives. And if I could do that and still provide good service and do right by both of them, which I already knew I could do, I felt that I was really providing something that a lot of realtors couldn't. So what I did do is I sought out a national certification and I went to school and I took this course for 3 months and paid a good amount of money for this certification. And it's a national certification with a national group of certified divorce real estate experts. That is what I am. I'm a CDRE. And I am part of this group. We meet weekly. We host masterminds. We communicate daily. I have case study after case study after case study that I have been a part of and learned from and continued to grow my resume and my CV. And it's just been a wonderful thing. And I'm learning so much more about divorce real estate and divorce law and what happens when the children are involved and all of these things that I never would have been educated on had I not sought this out. So finding the niche was one thing, but now becoming an expert in the niche is something completely different. And it has taken on a whole other role for me. And I love it because I'm the only one in my area with this certification. They are very area specific about giving it out because they don't want to overload the market with who we are because then that cheapens who we are. Not to mention, you have to get accepted into this course. You can't just sign up for it, pay the money, and take it. You have to be doing a certain amount of production for a certain amount of years consistently in order for them to even consider you for an interview to see if they want to take you into the course.
See,
Super.
most people who come to me that going through divorce know this because I tell nobody who my clients are. That's I have a fiduciary responsibility for my clients.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. They have to tell people that I did their loan. They have to do the review or whatever. I don't, where agents are a little different. They're standing in front of the place with pictures or what they did. What I know more about people than their priest, their doctor, their attorney. You put it all together. I know so much about them. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And so that's the reason. Because the way I'm doing the one now I told you about is they pick me because I'm not from that town, and they also know that I don't talk. I don't, what I mean, I'm a vet, man. I don't talk to anybody. It's none of your business. And I've had agents who are pissed at me because I won't tell them certain things or whatever. It's like first of all, one, my client never told me I could tell you that. So I don't have that approval. Let me go talk to my client and see if I can ask them. And if they say yes, I'll come back and talk to you about it. But if they say no, there's nothing I can do about it. And a lot of agents don't understand that loan people have a fiduciary responsibility to their client, but not all loan people understand that either.
Yeah. Not all realtors do either.
Yeah. And because that's the most important thing is, and like you were talking about, you can't pick sides, but you also can't, a lot of these people just talk, so-and-so getting divorced, so-and-so doing this. Shut up. It's nobody's business.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's a tough niche. It really is. Because all these people want to do is talk to you. There's always one of the two who has the story and wants to tell it to anybody who will listen. And they'll tell it over and over and over again. The same story over and over and over again. And it's taxing, but you do feel for them, So I let them talk. You want to say the story again? Go ahead. I'll take 45 minutes and listen to you again.
That's like when during the Great Recession, I ended up negotiating so many short sales because agents didn't understand how to negotiate and all that stuff. And I took a actual life coaching course, certified in that, so that I could help people get through that. I had so many people crying in my office what they were going through, and they didn't understand it. I mean, I'm talking thousands. I did so many, it was ridiculous during that period
Wow.
of time. But it helped so many people, right? And that's why it's important to help people during those times, and like you're doing, and I appreciate that. How do people find you, Dennis, if they want to get a hold of you?
Anywhere on social media, you can type in Dennis Mark Real Estate. I'll pop up. Even if you type in the Dennis Mark Group, the website will most likely come up. But Dennis Mark Real Estate, anywhere on the internet, you'll find quite a bit on me.
Dennis, thanks for being on the show today. Really appreciate you being on here and telling your story.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.